All right, team, what's going on? I'm Tim Jenkins, and welcome to All Things QB, where I watch every single clip, but I break down the most important ones. Today, we've got Bo Nix. Monday Night Football, huge win for this Broncos team as they improve to 8-5 against the Browns. So without further ado, let's jump into the film. All right, team. We are jumping into this thing. First one we've got for you guys is that movement dig. Trying to get this thing to Courtland Sutton. One of the only real bad drops, honestly, I remember from seeing Courtland this year. So what are the Broncos doing? We're selling toss, right? So they're selling toss left. They're selling 90 toss. We're pulling a guy out here. And then we've got our take the roof off post. We would call it a stick it 8 post. We've got our big dig. Really, you're reading this thing. You're checking these safeties, right? If this safety gets deep with the post, we've got the dig. If this safety jumps the dig, we've got the home run post. So you're going to see Bo fake the toss. He'll move the pocket slightly to the right. He'll anchor down, let this thing rip. So you can see, boom, the fake toss, right? Plus we're pulling the guy, makes it look more realistic. Get back there, anchors down. Little bit of movement off the spot. When we say movement off the spot, you can see we're on the left hash when we take this snap. We're going to move the pocket slightly. We're just going to change that launch point slightly. Important at times to move that launch point, especially when you're going against defenses like the Browns, where you've got like Myles Garrett, you've got guys that can get after the passer. You want to move that spot a little bit. So that one's tough. Great football by Bo. Great play design, I think, from Sean. One of those that Sutton of all guys is going to want back. This is a great job by our tight end. Look at our tight end on an island here. Look at him out there on the island just taking care of business. Just an awesome little design. Awesome way to move the pocket. Everybody's doing their job except for Sutton. It's one of those that I feel like we can kind of be okay with for Sutton, though, because I do think he does such a darn good job traditionally. This one's one of my, you guys know I love Samurai as a concept. This one's basically Samurai. We call it Machete because we have the double deep over instead of the true just one deep over with a stick it 8 post. Yeah, that's great. So what are we doing? We've got the double deep overs. We would call it a slumber release shallow. So basically we've got this mandatory outside release. We would call it an MOSR go. MOSR. What does that stand for? Mandatory outside release. Okay, so we've got the MOSR takeoff. He's running for the love of the game. He's not really in this concept. Then we've got the deep over here and the deep over here. Okay, so these guys, it's really like almost a downfield rub concept where we're kind of making defenders run around guys in order to make it to where they have to cover not only the length of the field when they're running horizontally, but also that, hey, now you might get knocked off the spot, right? And then we've got a little slow release, slumber shallow. Okay, so Bo's really reading this thing 1 to 2. You're usually reading it to the same side that your shallow's running to. And the reason for that is because then your eyes are in the same place as you're reading out the concept. The Browns think they're going to heat the Broncos up. They don't think, they do. The Browns, they're bringing pressure, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We add our 6th guy. Our back stays in, so we're 6 on 6 from a protection standpoint. They're playing cover 1 behind it. So all these guys are man-to-man. Plus they've got this center field safety. Okay. Bo does a great job, what we would call retreating in the pocket, meaning, okay, hey, you're facing pressure. You need to gain depth, right? We need to create depth between us and these defenders. Does a great job gaining depth in the pocket, anchoring himself back, giving his guys time to get across the formation. And Sutton does a great job answering the bell, right? So we just had a big drop from Sutton the play before. And then guess what? He comes up, runs all the way across the field, creates separation, makes a great catch. Let's see it one more time, sorry, from the tight, just for Bo so you guys can see. Watch him Watch him buy time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anchors back. Good job, too, by our back. Look at our back stepping up in protection here. Boom. He's got to get across. We've got our line 3-on-3 here. We've got our backside 2-on-2 here. Everybody's holding up pretty well. That's a darn good job. Yep, that's a good job, boys. Oh, Machete first down. Love seeing that. This one, we got a little scramble crosser. So these are the kind of plays that Bo Nix makes that are just really darn good. Because on the surface, we should be able to account for this guy, right? So you can see the safety's creeping over the top. That's what we would call a capped defender. A capped, meaning we have someone stacked behind him, which then enables him to pressure. Because if someone's behind him, then obviously someone can fill in for his coverage responsibility. So, for example, if this safety was over here, we can usually count on this guy not coming, right? Instead, we've got a capped defender. So this guy's triggering pressure here. And then not only are they pressuring there, but what they do is this lineman's going to drop out. But we have to account for him because he's the line of scrimmage, which forces our eyes inside a little bit more. And then I want you guys to watch our tight end chases this D end who takes an inside stem to get to a different gap, right? He's stemming to a different gap. So you see that, boom, stems our tight end chases, which then enables this guy to be a free hitter because you're going to see the tight end's going to pop late to account for this guy, but too late, right? We're already home. Bo recognizes that, creates horizontally, enabling our guys to kind of buy some time downfield. 17 works to a great spot. Watch him work with his quarterback. He's supposed to be on this little sit route. Watch him work with his quarterback here. So he's supposed to sit. Okay, Bo's leaving. Let me work with him. Great catch. That's just like, that is absolutely perfect. That's exactly what we want from scramble drill. We want our guys working across the formation with our quarterback. And that's a really good job by Bo. Buying time against a free hitter. Incredible catch. You can see us chasing here. Sorry for the little yawn. Tried to get up early to get this thing out for you guys. Watch him chase here. Watch him chase it, and then, shoot, I'm late. It's going to happen, and it's really great when your quarterback can make up for those mistakes, right? When your quarterback can sit there and say, hey, no worries, I got us. Right here, we've got the deep post. I've got this as a no grade, and I've got it as deep post, tough, no grade. So, you can see the concept here. So first and foremost, 3rd and 10. The concept that we're trying to hit is really like you could call it a post wheel. But it's more of a vertical release, selling the sail route instead of a true wheel. Sorry, my darn head's in the way. And then we're turning it up. Backside, we've got this dig. The Browns are in like an inverted cover 2, which is kind of a cool coverage to talk through. We've got this guy as like our half defender, right? We've got another half defender here. This guy's actually coming up. He's going to be the back, the press to flat, like really corner, right? We have press to flat here. And then this guy's going to run the middle. He's our Tampa guy. Oh, no. No. Okay, I apologize. This is our press to flat defender, and he's filling in as our mid-hook defender. Okay, which also helps because by bringing him from depth, he's then sorting things out more than, say, this guy who's going to be more likely to stay flat because he's closer closer to the line. So that's interesting. Interesting coverage here. But really, you can see Bo. What Bo's thinking is he feels like this guy turns to take this. So then he's like, oh, shoot, I've got this. Our back, but the backside safety comes to make a play. That's why I've got it as a no grade, because it's like, you feel like, hey, maybe he's throwing the ball up, right? Throwing it up down the middle of the field late, which you hate, right? You hate that, especially as a coach. Then you kind of watch it sort out and you can see what his eyes were thinking, because his eyes are thinking, oh, that guy peeled to take, my sail vertical. So, hey, now my post is open. The backside safety does a good job getting over there to make a play, or at least make it a contested catch. Maybe we're a little long there. I mean, you could potentially make the argument if you were a real fan to PI, but I actually think that's a probably good no call. Yeah, just one of those where it's like hey, let's talk through this on why it looked so bad, like we're throwing the ball up down the middle of the field. But in reality, I think that's more of a no grade and just like, hey, this is a tough look for this play. All right, team, real quick. We just dropped, by we, I mean Jenkins Elite. We just dropped our football camps for this summer. We've got 6 stops across the country, youth and high school players. So listen, if you've got a football player that could benefit from it, or if you are a football player that could benefit from it, or if you know somebody that's got a football player that could benefit from it, please consider sharing it. I've got the link in the description. We are going to Kansas City, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Houston, Denver, and Tampa. I would love to meet y'all out there. I will be at every single camp. I'd love to meet you. It's for all positions. We've got all positions. So please, please, please consider checking them out. The link is in the description. That's what I've got for you guys. Let's jump back into the film. All right, team. This one's tough. This one's another no grade, but we got to talk through it. This is a tipped interception. Yeah. Hate seeing the ball get tipped up down the middle of the field. It's the ones that gives you nightmares as a former quarterback. I like the concept again, though, honestly. Okay, we got this little inside release. We're on the post here. We've got, again, that little delayed slumber shallow. We call it a slumber shallow because it's like, hey, you're kind of asleep, right? You're asleep in that delay portion, right? You're kind of like lulling them asleep, and then we're going to get across on that shallow cross. We got the in behind it. Kind of like you could almost call it like a little Y cross almost. Not really, right? Because we got the shallow instead of a true cross, but I don't mind it. I kind of like it a little bit. And, I mean, we're getting to the right spot. Our receiver's open on this dig route. I think we're honestly gaining too much out of this roll. Look at how much we carry upfield on this rolled in route, to where now he can close this space. I think we got to make this cut, and you got to get shallower back towards your quarterback, right? You don't really want this dig angle. Like, you definitely don't want to be floating upfield. Being flat is okay, but it's almost like you want to be friendly towards your quarterback, man. You want to work slightly back down in order to prevent this DB from potentially making a play here. Instead, DB gets a hand on it, which is a great play by him. Absolute great play by him. Ball gets popped up in the air, and then when the ball gets popped up in the air in the middle of the field, anything can happen in the National Football League. Heck, we could catch it, right? We could. Probably not gonna, but we could. This is an awesome job, too, from Bo in the pocket. Look at him feel Myles Garrett winning, float to buy time. It's tough because I think from a quarterback rep perspective, this is a pretty dang good rep. Okay, obviously, Bulls has to do a better job. And I get it, right? It's Myles Garrett, right? Defensive Player of the Year, potentially. He has to be our guy that can take that matchup on and not just give it up like this. Ball gets batted. That's tough. Now, it's not on Bulls, though, right? Bo did a great job floating in the pocket to make his job better, right? Make it to where he buys time, that he's unaffected by that. That's just a good job by that. I mean, it's a really darn good job by that DB. I do think if we worked a little bit more plus towards ourselves, right? Towards our quarterback, we've probably got a better shot. But this I love. I love, I love, I love. I don't know. This is so awesome. So we've got third and 2. And then what we've got is we got in a 12 personnel, meaning we've got one back, right? Our one back, and then we've got 2 tight ends, right? Okay, so we would call this dump. What dump does is it gets our we call it, let's call it dump left. Okay, so our Y's there, right? So we're in dump left, which means our tight ends are off the ball. Okay, dump left, tight ends are off the ball. We're in 12 personnel. And then we've got our X is here and our Z is here. But we're going to go dump left and we're going to go Y out. Okay, so you're going to go dump left, Y out. So we're going to get our Y actually, boom, motioning pre-snap. And then we've got hitch with a takeoff, right? We would call this Haas. Hitch outside slot seam, right? Now this is less of a seam route like it used to be back in the day when I was playing. More of a slot fade, right? More of a, hey, we're going to work this slot receiver actually outside. I love it because it's really just a smash concept, but watch what you create with this last minute jump motion. You create this where these guys are bumping each other a little bit, but you just create all this room for Courtland Sutton to work on this fade route. Okay. And then the next piece of it is backside. They've got this concept where we got this little smash corner with our check release wide, but watch, we bring our tight end with our back just in case we have to get to him. It's like he's got a blocker out there, right? Just in case you have to get to your back on third down. I love, man, we stole that from the Dolphins. The Dolphins were the first team I've ever seen to do that. We stole that from them, but hey, who cares, right? NFL's a copycat league, but just what a throw, right? What a big time throw from the rookie quarterback. 3rd and 2, guys. We got to remember 3rd and 2, and we just back shoulder this thing in there to Courtland Sutton. 1, 2, 3, hitch. Look at this. As good of a throw as you're going to see in the National Football League on 3rd and 2. Yeah, that's special stuff. This one this I love too, because we're getting creative here. I don't know, and it's, I should know. I do not know the illegal man downfield rule on a ball caught behind the line of scrimmage. So if we can still call illegal man downfield, we've got an issue here because we got 3 of them. If that's not a rule, right? Ball caught behind the line of scrimmage, you can't have illegal man downfield, then we're okay. But what I want to talk through is, I love this entire concept because we got, first and foremost, we got read zone here. So we've got a run play called to the left. We've got a backside away from the back run bubble. We're going to read this guy. So if he bends and runs, Bo's going to pull it and keep it. If he plays Bo, then we're going to give it. And if we give it, that means we're technically, because we would disregard this backside guy. We're basically 1, 2, 3, we're 5 on 4 in the run game. Like, you would love your numbers, right? Instead, look at him bend and chase. Look how hard he chases this thing. So Bo pulls this thing. I think Bo pulls this thing with the intention to run. Then this guy anchors his feet, which triggers the bubble throw. Because now we're 2 on 2, with that being the 1, this being the 2, and we're able to run away from this guy. So just overall play design, we've thought through basically every single element of it. We've attacked them every single way in which you could horizontally. And it just leads to a low risk throw that turns into a huge play for this Broncos offense. And that, to me, is where you can sit there and go, Now that's dang good play design when you're sitting there and you're going, hey, we've got a low risk throw that can turn into a 20-yard gain. Really, we're just calling a run play, honestly. But we have all these, you have all the plays built off of it that make it good. This one I've got labeled, this is a bad, I've got this label as just a flat out no, Bo. We'll talk through it. I'm not sure what our buddy was thinking. So what we called was we actually called that same, I don't know if you guys remember, but that same machete play. We called that same machete play, but off of motion. So now this is our, okay, that's our big takeoff route. We've got our deep over. We've got our deep over. And then now we've got a back in the flat, okay? What Bo's thinking, though, is Bo's thinking, hey, I've got Sutton on this. He's thinking, I got him on the deep over, right? That's what Bo, I think, is thinking. Hey, I've got him on the deep over. I got forced out of the pocket. That don't mean I can't rip this thing all the way across the field. And I would say that that's exactly what it means. You know, to me, it's like, okay, hey, we get forced out of the pocket. Because this is supposed to be a from the pocket throw off of action. We just lose him right here, right now, this D end. And it's like Bo gets forced out of the pocket. I feel like that's one of those, and obviously easier for me on the next day to question him. I just feel like that's one of those, hey, we got bumped out of our pocket. We're down deep in our end zone. Let's get that ball out there to the flat. I also understand what he's thinking. What he's thinking is Cortland's going to win across the field, and I got nobody left over there. But that's going to be a tough sell to Sean today when they're sitting in that meeting room. If they're, you got to imagine Bo's grinding at it. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah. That's a tough one for the young Q. All right, team, real quick, our Patreon account. As you guys that have been following the channel for a while know, the NFL is getting more aggressive and they are copyright striking the heck out of this thing, which means no more YouTube ad rev. So I need you guys to consider jumping over to Patreon to support the growth of this channel, fuel the growth of this channel. It's a really affordable way to do it for $5 a month. It would mean the world to me. The link's in the description. If you can't do that, please FTA this thing, which means comment for the algorithm, like, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and please consider sharing this on your social media networks. Anyways, it would mean the world to me if you would do that. I hope you guys are enjoying the breakdown so far. That's everything I've got for you guys. Let's jump back into the film. This is probably the clip that just about everybody has been waiting to see, which is the absolute missile for a touchdown, 93 yards. Not a lot to break down here, for being honest. We got Dancer. Okay, what's Dancer? It's all go special. You got to go here. You got to go here. You've got a bender here, which means he can keep it vertical against a single high safety. Bend it if he's got too high. We've got that same inverted Tampa. Where it's like, basically what happens is it turns into where this Mike linebacker is going to try to run the middle seam to take that away. And then this corner, he's really the deep half player. He goes over to make a play on it, but it's just it's too good of a throw to make a play on. That is a flat out incredible dime of a ball. You gotta love that. Hold on. I love seeing the guys go celebrate with the fans. Look at those boys. That's good stuff. Just guys being dudes, enjoying a cold weather football game. Probably not that cold, actually. I mean, this is an absolute rocket. I gotta go slow-mo so we can even see it. Dude. Are you kidding me? Oh, baby. That is as good as it's gonna get. Absolutely outstanding. Incredible. That's just, yeah, there's not a lot of commentary on it. It's just awesome stuff. Okay, so touchdown, obviously. Next drive. The amount of times that we recycle concepts for the Broncos is potentially more than I see from any team in the National Football League. Sean is not afraid to put in a concept that he likes and then revisit it through multiple formations, personnel groupings, which part of me thinks, of course, what a brilliant thing to do with a young quarterback. You know, because, hey, Bo, guess what? We've got the same, we're reading out this concept the same. It's that post wheel, remember, guys, that we talked about that was a sail, but you turn it up. And then we've got this backside chase. But instead, now we're going to sprint to it. We're going to do this like little delayed sprint. So watch him. He's going to take that first step as if he's straight back. And then he's going to sprint out. And he's going to wait for Cortland to work across the formation on that crosser. And it's just, it's a tough cover, man. It's a really tough cover. They're running that. The Browns are also don't have anything that they don't like running a bunch of, because you get that same inverted Tampa again. Okay, this guy gets too flat, which means we've got the void behind him. Just a great pitch and catch. A great pitch and catch. From the tight, it's going to be even better. But look at this throw from the young quarterback. We're going to sprint to it. Look at this thing. That is a great football. Absolute great football. You know, to me, I feel like we've had like dang near, you know, of the last 5 clips, I feel like between the slot fade, that bender that we just showed for the long touchdown, it's like, I don't know who's left that's questioning the kid's arm talent, because I just think it's flat out incredible. Okay, so hey, I just talked about it, didn't I? I just jinxed it, because we said, hey, 3 of the last 5 incredible arm talent throws, and then we're gonna get here where get a little aggressive with the football. Now, can I say that Bo has a ton of options? No, I can't. So it's 1st and 10, and we're running, really, we would call it probably pistol, where it's like, it's a little deeper than I'm used to seeing pistol, and it's more of like a crosser angle. But pistol for us was, we had the post with the in, so you have the post outside, right? Pistol. How about that? Post with an in. Okay? So the Broncos, to me, this is pistol. It's just we're running it with like more of a deep over than a true basic in, and then the post. Really what you're trying to do is you're trying to see, hey, where does the safety go? And I want you guys to watch, because the safety clearly takes the crosser or the in. So the read is the then throw to your post. You just don't expect your post to lose by this much. Yeah, that's just, so it's a really hard one for me, because it's like, I've got it actually written as a bad-ish. But it's a tough one for me, because it's the right read technically. So you've got the right read, but your receiver doesn't win. So then you go biscuits. I ended up throwing a pick. It's the right read. This is probably just one of those that he probably just needs to get out of the pocket and throw this thing away, if we're being honest. Now, he's just made quite a few great throws in a row, so I get that then it's hard to not feel like you got a heat check, right? It's like when you're jacking up shots at the playing pickup and everything's falling. You kind of got to see like, hey, is really everything falling? Can I shoot it from here? And then usually you airball that one and you're right back to who you've always been, which for me is a terrible basketball player. But we're going to recover because we're going to rip this dime on this out. We would call this more of an Oklahoma. We always had it where like an Okie's a 4-step, Oklahoma's like a 6-step. But really, man, this is simple. We've got the seam route here, and we've got it paired with the big out. I want you guys to watch 21. He midpoints these guys, meaning he's kind of working with both of these guys vertically. And look at his inside leverage, which then just makes this basically a gift, right? It's an absolute gift. Great pitch and catch. Great route by Cortland. It's so good to see Cortland kind of getting back to who we've known him to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hitch ball. Great feet from Bo. This is exactly what I'm talking about. When I talk about quarterbacks tying their feet to the progression, that's exactly what I'm talking about there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hitch ball. That's clean feet from the rookie. Really clean feet. Really, really clean feet. 4, 5. Hitch shot. Yeah. That's as clean of a just overall concept as you're going to see. I've got 2 left for you guys, and I my favorite part about this is we're actually breaking down the same clip twice. So we've got a condensed formation stick concept. So we've got this Okie route with the stick where he has all these different options. And look at this. So this is what we call a void turn. So a stick route is truly against zone, you turn out. Against a void, you turn in. And then against man coverage, you break out. Okay? Void, look, this guy's going to get horizontal and this guy's going to pressure. So we think we've got a void. So we turn in. The tough part is we turn in, but they drop this D lineman into this gap. So actually, it's like we needed more of a zone turn, which would have put us a little bit further out here. And instead, look at how Bo makes this right. So our tight end turns in, which isn't a bad decision by him. I want to make sure I'm clear with that. It's not a bad decision by him because we think it's void, right? We're pretty darn sure that, hey, these guys pressured, so there's no one left. We're thinking, hey, this is a void turn, right? That's what we're thinking. Sorry, this thing's going crazy. But that's what we're thinking. Now watch Bo make it correct by Bo puts it on his very outside shoulder, which basically prevents that D tackle dropping from being able to make a play. And 93, this is a heck of an athletic play from this guy. We're just lucky that our quarterback puts it in such a perfect spot that he can't make a play on it. Because the big guys, that's a dancing bear now. The big guy's making a play on this thing. And that's just a heck of a football from Bo. Just a heck of a ball. That's great. Now on 3rd and short, so we got 3rd and 2, and then guess what? We're going right back to condensed stick. We're going right back to condensed stick. So we got the speed out with the stick. Remember all the different options. And then backside, we've got double slant. But Bo's just thinking, hey, I've got an off corner I'm going to stick my foot in the ground and rip this thing on the out route. Absolutely perfect decision to keep the chains moving. Just another great decision from the young Q. Hit the speed out, move the chains. The last one I've got for you guys. So, all in all, man, I think that was, I saw some tweets after the game, I feel like, or some X posting, where it was like, people were like, I feel like didn't think Bo played well, and I think a lot of that was the stat line, right? The 2 picks. Looking at the tape, I felt like it was a heck of an outing. I thought he played pretty darn good football. So to me, it's like, this kid's rolling, man. And I feel like it was, I'm really happy for Broncos country because we've been breaking these guys down for a while, and it's just, it's been a journey to get to where you can play on national TV and feel like, you know what, we've got a guy who can really represent us well. We've got a team that represents us. Broncos are 8-5. Broncos got a chance to make a run at this thing, right? We've got a chance to really, you pull up their schedule. Let me pull this thing up real quick on the old ESPN app. But you pull up their schedule, you're sitting there and you're going, okay, we're 8-5 right now, going into the bye week, right? Which is sad. I'm not going to see you guys this week if you only watch the Broncos ones. But it's like, then you got the Colts. You got to think, this is going to be a competitive football game, a lot like this. We're going to have to be gritty. We're going to have to be competitive. But you get to 9-5. Then you got the Chargers on a short week. That's going to be the critical one for playoff seeding. That Chargers game is going to be a critical one for playoff seeding. Then you've got the Bengals. And then you've got the Chiefs. But you potentially have the Chiefs. Really, we should be rooting for the Bills to drop one if you think about it. Because you potentially, not that the Broncos, of course, can beat the Chiefs. They dang near beat them in Arrowhead. But if you've got the Chiefs in a situation where they don't need it, you got to think that plays to Denver's advantage, right? Is there a world in which the Broncos run the table, go 12-5? Sure. Can you feel better about 11-6, 10-7? It's hard to think you go 2-2 down the stretch, right? You're thinking probably 3-1. It's just a 10 or 11 win Broncos team is just not what I had in the cards this year. And I just think it's incredible. So to me, I'm pumped up. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. I want you guys to comment. Let me know what you think. Please, as always, know that I really appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, peace.